Hello, my Hay House lovelies. Welcome to the month of May. Well, what an amazing month it looks set to be because this is the time when Saturn moves into Aries for the first time in 29 years. So this kind of, connects to the recent move of Neptune into the same sign at the end of March. So the pair of them are just moving into these early stages of Aries. They're going to be sort of hovering here through the rest of the summer. And next February, they're going to literally fuse, join, alchemize together, which is really going to be fascinating for us all to witness. Very rare occurrence. But for now, we're just getting used to these celestial changes and this sort of backdrop. It's as if, celestial scenery is being moved about for all of us. It affects all of us. You don't have to be an Aries to feel this. Obviously, Aries themselves may feel it more strongly, especially if you were born on the cusp around the time of the spring equinox. That's the cusp of Pisces to Aries. But for all of us, no matter which sign, this movement into Aries, we all know that Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. And there is this feeling of newness, of sort of trying to or being forced to look at things with fresh eyes, sort of having a bit of a new take on ourselves and on life in general. So all of that is going on. It's a profound shift. And we've also got the full moon in Scorpio, which is, of course, the most intense sign of the zodiac. That's happening on the 12th, on the same day that Mercury is at odds with Scorpio's ruling planet, Pluto. So, it's going to be quite a profound shift, a transformation, a time when maybe there will be words spoken, or because it's Scorpio, we might be looking at a bit of a sting in the tail that you're on the receiving end, or just feeling within. There's a strong reaction that's coming up, and that's followed on May the 17th with the Sun and Uranus joining forces in Taurus. And this is the last time this pair of planets are going to meet for 84 years. So there's a lot of sort of endings and beginnings that are taking place this month. The Sun Uranus itself kind of shifts what's been stuck. It's, quite a game changer. And of course, then Gemini season is going to start on the 20th, a new moon in Gemini 2 on the 27th. And this is all about people, networking, ideas, connection, communication. That is for everyone. So let's take a look at what it means for Aries to have Saturn in your sign up until the 1st of September of this year, before you're going to get a 2.5 year movement of Saturn in Aries. So it's going to show you, since Saturn is the planet of evolutionary lessons, what you need to work on, Aries. Call it karma. It's the kind of, leftovers that have to be dealt with. And I think Saturn is also, being the planet of responsibility, often a significant of when we need to step up to the plate. You need to think very seriously of what we're going to be doing. So the full moon on the 12th of this month is very much about, the clearing away of those things that have perhaps blocked you in terms of progress in a relationship, whether that's financial or emotional. You're thrashing things out quite literally, what belongs to what, to who, is what's yours, and what's the other person's yours, or is it the other way around? And, you're going to be negotiating, that's for sure. And that full moon could really clear the air. When we get to the new moon in friendly Gemini on the 27th, well, this is so positive. It's absolutely brilliant time for you to set your intentions, to think about what you want to be planting seeds for this sort of summer flowering in your life, and especially when it comes to ideas, projects, interactions. So lovely Taurus. Well, of course, we're in luscious Taurus season for most of this month of May. And, this is a great recharge of your own solar energy. It gives you the sun power, those vital forces. You're feeling strong. It's a celebration. It's definitely this time when you are just there and very present. So the full moon in your opposite sign of Scorpio, May the 12th, is going to activate relationships big time between then and the 17th, when the sun meets Uranus, that wild card in your own sign. Well, it's about receiving the energy from the other person at the time of the full moon, and then perhaps giving out what you really want, like an electrical storm almost on May the 17th. And, maybe it's going to surprise and shock other people. Maybe you surprise and shock yourself as well, because it's not about being practical and, just thinking very slowly about things. I mean, Uranus operates at lightning speed. So time to step outside of your comfort zone, Taurus. With Saturn moving into Aries from the 25th to the 1st of September, this is the sort of inner sanctuary of your chart, where the sort of whispers of celestial instructions are spoken to you, and you receive that, but you don't necessarily feel that you want to act on them straight away. So you're kind of processing a lot of stuff, can start to do a lot of inner work, Taurus, which is never a bad thing. So with Gemini here, during Taurus season, it's a bit like your low season, because the sun is low on your own horizon until it comes into your own sign later on in the month on the 20th. So perhaps you want to press the do not disturb button, which would be very rare for Geminis, of course, because you're the great talker, you're the great communicator. But there are some times when you just need to kind of, have a bit of privacy, and this could be one of them. On the 12th of May, that full moon is about clearing, detoxing. Maybe here, you want to step away from some things that you've been involved with, or maybe it's the end of what you've been busy with as well. You've done that project, tick it off your list. The Sun and Uranus close together on the 17th is pretty much a significator of an internal epiphany, nothing less. The big aha. So you have to turn down the volume on the outside world in order to have that experience, Gemini. Of course, it's Gemini season from the 20th, and that sees you in fine fettle, the return of the sun to your own sign. Both your twins are going to be running around, and you're going to be connecting with others, lots of exchanges, lots of interactions. It'll be fun, it'll be busy. Saturn's move into Aries on the 25th, right the way through the summer until September the 1st. This is about the people that you're hanging out with, whether this is your friendship group, whether it's, the sort of teams that you're in work-wise, or anything that you're a member of. And Gemini's great mixers and minglers. Saturn here is saying less is more. Choose your people carefully. Don't just have an open door policy. Saturn is also about old friends, those old connections. Are they worth their weight in gold, Gemini? Or do you feel, a little bit past their sell-by date? Only you can decide on that one. And there's going to be a new moon in your sign, Gemini, on the 27th, kickstarting a new cycle. Fantastic for, kind of getting back in touch with who you really are, and, sort of ideas as well, just that intention setting. I want to bring this to fruition, and writing your list, making your affirmations, having a vision board if that's your thing. But certainly the planting of that Gemini new moon is really something that will flower, maybe as early as a couple of weeks, maybe within the summer period. So Cancer, well, the full moon in deep, passionate, intense Scorpio, your fellow water sign, on May the 12th. And in the most creative and romantic and playful area of your chart, here's my dog. She's a Leo, she has to get in on the act. There is a need for you to tap into your creative power to manifest whatever brings you joy in your life. And the Sun in Uranus on May the 17th, this is about your crowd of people. Do you feel that, they represent your comfort zone? Are these your people? Or do you want to break free? Uranus here is about meeting with new types of people, new interests as well, sort of trying something out for size. Saturn moving into your midheaven is really, really important, May the 25th to September the 1st, kind of making a stronghold on your place in the world. Perhaps you're putting your pincer grip on there, because you do tend to hold on to things quite tightly. And this is very much that feeling of, do other people see you as you want to be seen? Are you taking on a bigger role, more responsibilities? 27th of May, with the new moon in your 12th house, time to retreat into your shell, Cancer. Go within, as the saying goes. Replenish your soul. And literally, don't feel that you have to be out there doing everything that other people want you to do. This new moon is just for you. Now, Leo, with this idea of, the Scorpio full moon here, very much about the rebalance that needs to take place between home, family, or personal life and what you're doing in the outside world. 17th of May, when the Sun and Uranus join there at the top of your chart. Well, for some Leos, you just feel that it's off with the old and on with the new. You feel as if you simply don't want to go in that old direction. You might be pulling the plug on something that you used to think that, that was going to last and last. But now you've lost interest, or there's something new that's coming into the mix. You want to reinvent it, remake it in some way, rebrand. So a lot of fresh starts coming for you in the middle of the month. On the 27th, with the new moon in Gemini, this is about new contracts, new connections, and seeds of an event or a gathering. You might be thinking of something that you want to do, which is an event for later on in the year. You want to pull certain people together. You've got that seed of an idea which will germinate. Now, Virgo, well, it's pretty much about money this month. No two ways about it. Perhaps you need to dig a bit deeper. Maybe also with that full moon on the 12th of May, this is about conclusions and completions of old projects. Could be a little bit tense around that time as Mercury, your ruler, is at odds with Pluto. But May the 17th, the Sun and Uranus make you highly restless. So it's about, those choices that you do have, Virgo, at your fingertips. Do you want to go on a surprise trip, or do you want to surprise someone else? Or it might be, if you've got it all, as you think, set in stone, those plans, that they suddenly derail, or, someone comes up with something new, and this could be pretty last minute, but, hey, you have to wait and see what happens in those circumstances. May the 25th, when Saturn moves into Aries, as I said, it's all about money. And this is about your desire to build long-lasting security, which means tying up all those loose ends, kind of recognizing where things are not practical. Saturn is the great planet of practicality when all is said and done. Unless something is grounded, it's not going to be, it's not going to be something that will hang around for very long in your life. So you're going to do the sensible thing with Saturn here. And maybe this is about ending those matters that have drained your resources and, taking a very practical stance about that. May the 27th, a glorious new moon on your midheaven. I love this one. Could be some new work opportunities coming in. Could be that, this is a time that you're launching yourself or putting some ideas forward. It's absolutely great for that. So with Libra, during Taurus season, your interactions, your exchanges with others are pretty much center stage. The full moon in Scorpio, you're looking here about what you have to share or would like to share with other people. And, where do your needs fit into this? On the 17th, with the Sun and Uranus, very volatile combination. Maybe your scales are going to dance around a bit, but, that's nothing new. Hey, but, it could be that someone tips those scales and you need a bit of time to consider, or maybe you get presented with a fait accompli. On the 25th, this is very important for you as Saturn moves into Aries, the relationship angle of your chart. If you have a September birthday, then you're really going to feel this between the 25th of May and the 1st of September. And you're entering a decision time when it comes to partnerships, whether this is a working partnership, something more personal than that. It's about where you stand. You're considering it then. You're looking again. February 2026 could be the crunch point. But, whether you want to commit or whether you want to find the exit clause in that particular connection. But it's no more sitting on the fence. You really do have to come to a decision. New moon in your fellow air sign of Gemini on the 27th. Great fun. I love this. And this desire for you to live life to the full and kind of explore what else is out there for you. A lot, I would say. So Scorpio, it's your full moon this month, 12th of May, a time when, the great portal of the full moon opens and it's revelations, it's closure, it's completions, it's a turning point, it's deep feelings that surface. And it might be the truth about how you feel, where you can't hide from it yourself anymore. Like, you know how you feel, you have to go there. And maybe this is about you moving into deeper exchange with another person or putting closure on something. But, I think it's great because the full moon there shows you how you really feel. And, then you can move forwards. On the 17th of May, though, the sun gets together with Uranus in Taurus, your opposite number. And that could be quite surprising because it's going to bring up a plot twist of some kind, something that you hadn't seen in advance. And it might be that this is your opportunity to refresh in some way a relationship that needs to have some new energy, or something fun added, so that, you don't just get into that old groove, but, you go somewhere different, you kind of meet up with other people. But, it can also be meeting another person yourself, or it can just be that, there's a sort of new angle that's coming in here. With Saturn moving into Aries, well, this is about your detox program, really, Scorpio, whether this is about your nutritional program, whether it's about, health or the way that you work. It's kind of like, I'm not going to do this anymore. That's a waste of my time. Time is going to be of the essence when Saturn is in this position over the summer. And you want to clear the decks and clear some space for yourself. Meanwhile, the new moon on the 27th is all about proposals and prospects. That sounds interesting, doesn't it? So we move on to Sagittarius. Well, this full moon in the very hidden 12th house area of your chart is your opportunity to kind of purge and eliminate that which you do not want to take with you. And this feeling that on the 17th, things need to be shaken up, whether this is to do with your lifestyle, like you simply don't want to live like this anymore, stay with that old habit anymore. It's sort of like, how can you upgrade yourself? How can you make little small choices that make a huge difference? With Saturn moving into your fellow fire sign of Aries on the 25th, this is in the love angle of your chart, and it's about grown-up relationships, no matter what your actual age. You might be thinking about the nature of love. What is love for you? What does it mean? And the responsibilities and the commitment that go along with it. On the 27th, with the new moon in Gemini, your opposite number, a brilliant time for you to be reaching out, taking relationships in a new direction, or even meeting someone new. Capricorn next. Well, Saturn's move into Aries is very much a focus for you on boundaries, structures, and personal decisions. It can have a lot to do with where you want to live, whether you feel that the time has come, you want to change area or sort of put down roots that will be more meaningful for you. It's all about, living intentionally, really. And it could be a very important time for family life over the summer. Now, Taurus season is very fertile ground for you. I mean, Taurus is a great sign. It's your fellow Earth sign. And it's all about, how do you enjoy life? Is it possible, Capricorn, for you to really get into that more sensual side of your earthy nature? On the 17th, you might even discover that it's really quite fun to be spontaneous. Who would have thought? And on the 27th, with the new moon in Gemini, this is about you coming back down to earth again. Of course, you were always going to do that. And to sort of make some plans and intentions about, setting the course for the rest of the summer. So Aquarius, well, your news is on the 4th of May, Pluto is going to go retrograde in Aquarius until the middle of October. So, of course, Pluto is with you for the next 20 years. You're just getting used to that. And whilst it's been going forwards, it's perhaps felt like it's been creating a few waves in your life. But with Pluto reversing now, calming down, sort of you're looking at it in the rear view mirror instead of what's approaching and coming at you. Well, there's a time for processing. So between now and the middle of October, yeah, a lot of process work, thinking about the changes you want to make rather than feeling that they're confronting you head on. With the full moon on the 12th of May, that's on your midheaven and very much about, what you want to do with your worldly goals and ambitions. Where do you want to be? Who do you want to be? And then, in contrast, the sun, so close to Uranus on the 17th of May, is in the most personal angle of your chart. So this is where, you might have your ideas, but then the family have theirs, or something close to home comes up and you suddenly think, oh, I can't always do, what I'd planned to do. There's something close to home here that calls my attention, which is a good thing. Saturn moving into Aries on the 25th is about the mind. It's about your perception. It's about how you think, how you talk about things, what you allow into your mind, kind of having boundaries about the thoughts you allow into your mind. It's sort of like your very own thought police. In other words, do you really need that inner critic to be living in your head? Get rid of distractions, Aquarius. And the new moon in Gemini on the 27th is in your party zone. Well, what's not to like about that? It's fantastic for creating, for having fun, for romancing as well. Now, Pisces, last but not least, Saturn, oh, just, having these final few weeks in your sign until the 25th of May. Wow. Well, I mean, it's really pretty interesting. It's going to have a summer break, in other words. It will come back to you in the autumn, but there's this feeling that time off couldn't be more timely, actually. And you will feel the lift because Saturn can feel quite heavyweight when it's in your sign. It's been with you for 2.5 years. So there's this sort of lightness that comes over you. Just, sense that energy change. A time now, Saturn is going to move into the financial money angles of your chart. This is about you reconstructing the finances in your life and also how you earn money. And it's to do with your self-confidence, your self-worth. And having Saturn there, it's about, really taking yourself seriously. The full moon on the 12th of this month, deciding where you want to go. What is it in terms of your purpose? You're going to sign up for a course. This is the ninth house where we learn and grow, we discover, we explore. Is there something here about committing to something that you want to do in your future or somewhere that you want to go? On the 17th, the Sun and Uranus are very, very sparky here. And, that can just literally be a chance conversation, which you've never thought about this thing before. And someone just drops it in. And, wow, that seems to be really fabulous solution, answer, an interesting proposal, whatever. That's going to be a really good thing for you. And on the 20th, of course, the arrival of Gemini season and that sense that the world is your oyster. You're going to get out there. That's followed on the 27th with the new moon in the same sign in your personal zone. And that's so refreshing. It's like taking a celestial bath, really, where you can cleanse off all that old stuff and you'll be Saturn free. Time for a celebration, I think, Pisces. So I wish all of you the most fabulous month. Take note of the 25th and what it feels like to have Saturn moving into this new sign. Really quite interesting. And, that energetic shift that will be upon us all over the summer. Very interesting time. Have a great May. Please get in touch with me via my website, debbiefrank.com. Follow me on Instagram, Debbie Frank Astrologer. You can have a personal reading with me. You can join up to my Substack and be in touch soon. Thank you so much, Hay House, for collaborating with me on this. It's great. My new book, which is written, I'm in the editing phase, will be coming out at the end of the year. So lots of love for May. Bye for now.